Oh, never mind.
All right, ready? There you go.
Hello, Maskagero. Welcome, 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 family from around the world. أهلا وسهلا. Assalamu alaikum. Sabah al khair, masa al khair, bonjour, good morning, all the languages of the world for the Nubian diaspora around the world. My name is Dima Mahmoud. I'm the co-founder of the Nubia Initiative and one of the co-creators of Nubia Fest 2020. And we are so very, very honored to have with us Dua Farid here with
Hi
the Nubian
everyone.
Voices.
Hi everyone.
Hello, hello. So, people tuning in, wherever you are tuning in from, write something in the comments. Say hello in your language. If it's Nubian, please let's see you write it, but also where you are in the diaspora, because we know we have people tuning in from everywhere, from Japan, from Australia, from Kenya, you name it. Write it there. Tell us where you're tuning in from, and tell us what you're looking forward to hear from as far as Nubian representation in the media. This is a very important topic. I take it very, very personal. I personally grew up seeing us misrepresented in so many ways, and I cannot personally wait for the day we reclaim our narrative and step into our truth. So, Dua, thank you so much for taking the time to share this with us. I will go backstage and give you the floor. It is yours. That it seems there is the volume, the sound. Yeah. دعاء سمعانا؟ حاولي تقفلي. Can you try switching the camera off for a second until the internet stabilizes? Lovers of Nubia, friends and family tuning in, thank you for your patience with us. Please send collective prayers that this works and that internet in Egypt, where the Nubian Voices is tuning in from, cooperates with us so we may share this fantastic presentation. Excellent. Alhamdulillah. There we go. That we still can't hear you. أيوة سمعناها سمعنا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Let's give it another try كده. Okay, I'm gonna go off. Maybe the Skagero family, Malish, please be patient with us as we navigate the internet and some of the technical difficulties. At the very least, I hope now our brothers and sisters in Kenya are not feeling left out because the challenges are coming through and through. Minna, thank you so much. We are here for it. Yes, she will just log out and be right back. In the meantime, here I believe we have her coming.
Hello,
ايوه بقى.
you
Okay, yes.
guys.
You have Minna energy. Minna Ana coming through saying we are here for it. Thank you, Minna, for
Okay.
sending out these vibes. Here we are. افتحي لنا بقى your presentation and we will be ready to go.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm gonna start quickly. Let me introduce myself first. So my name is Dua Farid. I'm the founder of the Nubian Voices, and as you might have already seen or heard, Nubian Voices is an initiative that is still on Twitter only right now, but we're aiming to launch our website soon. So tune in. And the Nubian Voices actually aim to increase the representation of Nubians in the public sphere, in the media, newspapers, online. And our dream is to have a news website only covering media. Imagine, guys, only covering media. So support us here on Twitter, follow us. So, about myself, I'm a journalist. I've been working in print, magazines, radio, podcast, everything basically. And right now I'm based in Dubai. I'm Nubian, and let's see how can a Nubian journalist present to the world. So today I'm gonna talk about Nubians representation in cinema, in Egyptian cinema specifically, and drama. Because, uh, okay, let me share the presentation first. So, this image, do you guys see? I think this is a very familiar face for all of us. Black and white movies. We see this face all the time. His name is either Osman or Idris, and he's usually a servant, a driver, a watchman. This is the image that we've been seeing on Egyptian screen, cinema, TV sets for our entire childhood. That when I was growing up, I was actually believing that all Nubian grandparents were servants. And this is actually not true.
Dua, I'm sorry to interrupt again, but the sound is rather jumpy. So
Oh,
we didn't hear the transition. But then I think it feels more comfortable when I'm on screen. I might close my camera and just be here because every time I get on, I hear you. فأنا حابة أفضل online. بس if you can go back شوية
yeah,
للtransition between the slides. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
Yeah, okay, so here I was talking about a very famous Nubian face on cinema, but he was not Nubian in real life. So this guy was playing a character, Nubian character named Osman as well, and he's not Nubian. He's not even Nubian. He was just in real life. He grew up in a Nubian neighborhood, and he got so fluent with the accent. So this is why when he started a career in acting, he played Nubian characters. And also in the black and white era in Egyptian cinema, Nubians did not only suffer from discrimination on screen, but also racism. Here are two images. The first one is from an Egyptian movie named بين السما والأرض. And so quickly, the story was based on a group of people who got stranded in an elevator or escalator in a building. And of course, the watchmen would be Nubians. Like this was the case at the time on screen. So they portrayed the Nubian watchmen in the movie as if they do not care about the people stranded in the elevator, and they were listening to a football match in the radio and having fun with each other, and they do not care about the crisis that was happening few steps away from them. So this is the first racist case, I think, like a clear racist case against Nubians in cinema. The other one is from a colored movie. For this one is Ahmed Zaki. He's a very famous Egyptian actor, and he was playing a movie as if he was a watchman. And guys, of course, the other his other colleagues were Nubians, because again, this is what they think Nubians are only doing in their lives, just being servants, watchmen, drivers. So in this movie, they portrayed Nubians as if they had low temper, and they were always fighting with each other the entire movie. So I think this was a very like, and I remember, maybe I wasn't alive at that time, but I also read a lot about Nubians in real life uh, protesting against this specific movie and their image. So on a positive note, the image was not only negative, because Yusuf Shaheen is an Egyptian cinema director, and he got an award in Cannes Festival in the 50th anniversary of Cannes Festival, and he did a movie about Nubians, guys. And I'm sure not everyone knows about it because it doesn't come very often on TV channels, or I did not see anyone talk about it before, but I found it a couple of years ago and I was really surprised. So he did in 1968 he did a movie named الناس والنيل النيل والحياة, Nile and Life, and it was about the era when the Aswan High Dam was being built and how the High Dam affected Nubians' life. But this movie got banned for political reasons from Egypt and the Soviet Union because they were the funders of the movie. But after that, in 1972, he amended the movie and named it Nile and People in Neswin Nil. This is the poster of the movie. And he amended the story only to focus on the social implications that followed the building of the high dam. So here I'll try to show you a, a bit of it just to see what I'm talking about. Let me, yeah, here. So I hope you guys would listen.
هو بتاع التشجيعات. احنا لا عايزين شهادات ولا عايزين شغل في السد. هو الشغل ايه يعني؟ ولا اروح مصر اتمرمط؟ قومي حضري زواده البراق، براق رايح رايح، براق يتعب ولا يتهنش. قومي. أول نسمة يوم ما اتولدنا، يلا مني، هنشوف ايه دلوقتي؟ الجدول في فوق هيكون في ترعوات وهيكون في وحدة صحية في كل قرية. هيكون في ترع، هيكون في بيوت جديدة، هيكون في أراضي واسعة، هيكون في وحدة صحية. كله ها ها ها. على كل حال أنا لسه ما رحتش أسوان يا جدي، فجأة بيقول لي تعالى، وممكن ما أروحش. إزاي ما تروحش يا ولد؟ أنت قررت شيء لابد إنك تنفذه، وإذا عزمت فتوكل. أنا آخر واحد مر من وجه الأجل.
Okay, so let me go back to the presentation. So guys, this was just maybe 1 or 2 minutes of that movie. So basically it was talking about a Nubian guy who received a letter from the government to leave his village and go to Aswan and work on building the high dam. And when he went home, telling his parents about the letter, his dad told him, yeah, it's a nice project and you should go work there. The high dam will benefit everyone and it will bring good for everyone. So as you go on with the movie, you would see the implication, the social implications, political implications that resulted during and after building the high dam. I'm sure this movie does not come on TV channels. I don't know about the reason. Maybe because the first version of it got banned. I'm not sure. But anyways, it's on YouTube. If any of you want to see the whole story, it's on YouTube and the name is Film الناس
Dua, sorry, I just have to ask you to pause for a second because again, it's getting a little bit jumpy. In the meantime, while the internet in Egypt catches up, I will read or put on the screen some of the comments from people temporarily. And also, if you can paste the link to the YouTube video so we can share it, that would be great. Arwa Uthman says tabakh, I think because you said bawabin and servants only. So Arwa very rightly says tabakh, which is a cook. And yes, very rightly so. Asma says, there's a jet lag. Asma Taha says maskagna. Majde says that's disgusting and it's propaganda. Yes, absolutely. Let's now hope that the internet has stabilized well, you're not in Egypt actually, you're in the Emirates. One would think that they have better internet. Allahumma la shamat. Dua, are you there? No, we can't hear you. Hannah Hamid says hi. Hi, Hannah. We are just waiting for the internet to stabilize a little better for dua so we can hear her. Minna says, I really appreciate this presentation. This coming slide is a prominent example of cultural violence. Absolutely. We will put it.
Hello?
Yes. خلينا كده
You hear
نسمع.
me right?
Alhamdulillah. It's getting there. It's a little bit لسه شوي
Okay.
choppy, but there we are. Alhamdulillah. Okay, I'm gonna go on mute. I'll let you continue.
Okay. Guys, I apologize for the sound that keeps going on and off every while. It's out of my hand. I apologize and sorry if this is wasting your time. So now I hope
To interrupt you and tell you, do not apologize. We cannot apologize for the way God plans things. Also, we're going to blame anyway. We're going to blame the Emirati infrastructure, but we want to keep you safe there. We're not going to blame anyone. Just know that all the support is coming from the comments. I know you might not be reading them, but everyone here is saying this is such an important topic and it takes as long as it takes for you to get the message through because we are here for it all. So please take your time. We will pause and wait as much as we need. Thank you.
okay. Thank you, Dima. I will take it from here and I'll continue. I was saying that the black and white era and the movies that was done during the 40s, 50s, 1960s, and 70s were not an entirely positive image of Nubians. But here comes a new era, the 21st century. Like you will see a very positive image that I even doubt is a good thing. I mean, in 2001, we saw the representation of Nubians in a movie, in an Egyptian movie, and they were all like happy dancers, smiley people, peaceful faces, colorful houses. This was the image. But again, that was just that. No going deeper, no representing of the issues and problems of these people. So I'm gonna show you again on YouTube right now um, short clips of a movie that was done in 2001. The name of the movie was Mafia, and a very big part of it was shot in a Nubian village. So let's see together. Okay, let me choose it. And let me do a disclaimer that I do not, that the title of the movie on YouTube is not very accurate. Let's see part of it.
هنا غرب سهيل. المكان ده بقاله فوق ال100 سنة. أنا اتولدت هنا وأولادي كمان اتولدوا هنا.
فعلا المكان ده جميل قوي.
ومن حسن حظكم النهارده جاي يزورنا واحد من أحبابنا بيحبنا وبنحبه. مين يا عم فاروق؟ مين؟ إيدك هاي إيدك. أهو وصل. منورنا يا أستاذ.
وايه الاخبار بقى يا حاج محمد؟
كله تمام.
الحمد لله. وحضراتكم جايين زياره ولا شغل؟
دول ضيوف أخويا فاروق.
اهلا وسهلا.
أنا مش مصدق إن أنا قاعد جنب حضرتك كده يا أستاذ.
الله يخليك.
الأستاذ حسين واجهة مشرفة.
So guys, I know, I'm sure you
Minna, we are back to the sound being jumpy. So give it a moment. And in the meantime, I will read some comments from the feed. Perhaps the internet just needs to catch up. Majdi says, no need to apologize, good sister. Mazen says, who is this person they're celebrating the coming of? That is Hussein Fahmi, who is an Egyptian actor, a very famous one from old times. And I will leave it at that because this is a public space and a family space. And as Minna says, oh my goodness, I cringe every time I see that movie. We agree. You are not alone. And I think the internet is proof of that. Selma, the voice is not clear. I know we are working on it. We're trying our best, though we are working with what we have at the moment. Dua, let's try and see if the voice has caught up. If the internet is more stable over the presentation now. No. Perhaps you can log out and start a new server. I don't know if you are logging in from Safari or Chrome. If it's Safari, please try Chrome or Mozilla. It might be a bit more stable with this platform. Here we are.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Allah Akbar. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to mute myself and give you the floor.
Okay, guys, I'm back. And let me take it from where we stopped. So, okay, you saw just maybe 1 or 2 minutes of the movie. The image was all positive. People were dancing and celebrating the visit of a guest, and maybe this paved the way for a whole new era in Egyptian advertisement. Egyptian ads, they started showing or including
Okay, Dua, it's unfortunately still not working. Let's try doing something else. You have sent the presentation, so I will ask Mazen to play the presentation or to pull the presentation from our side. Perhaps it will be less stress on your internet, and that way you can just speak and tell us when to hit next for the presentation. Just if you just give us a moment to pull it up. In the meantime, I will take some of the comments here as well. If you can see them and you would like to ask questions or respond to them, oh no, you can't respond to them because the sound isn't stable yet. But Dua has left and she will be coming back in the meantime. Let us see here. Mazen. So it's not the actor who was darker skinned. The Nubian brother was the one showing them around again in the typical framework of us being the help, but also the landowners, and so showing them away. But the actor is the guy who came as the music was being played and being celebrated and standing like the Egyptian pharaoh on the boat coming in. And here we have Dua. Let's see how
you are hearing me.
Yes, and if until Mazen can pull up the presentation, I don't know if he is able to hear me. Until he's able to pull up. misrepresentation. Asma has a comment for you if you're able to read it and maybe respond to it till we put the presentation from our side.
Yalla, guys, I'm gonna read your comments. So, Asma, what is irritating about this movie is that most of the Egyptians see Nubians just like the movie, showing smiley faces, always dancing, and colorful voice. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. That's the whole issue. Is that this is whenever I tell one of my friends in Egypt that I'm Nubian, they say, "Oh, guys, you're nice people. You're smiley people." I was like, "Come on, come on. We're more than that."
انتوا جمال انتوا جمال قوي. yes yes بس احنا لو جمال قوي خفتونا ليه من anyway. I will digress and close.
So Dima, I was just to clarify my question previously, was the guy in the jalabiya, was he actually darker skinned? Like, was that his actual skin color, or was that simply blackface? Because we know that Egyptian media is notorious for blackface.
I don't know. I will keep that question for Dua to take. In the meantime, did you hear me about the presentation to see if we can pull it up from our side?
Yep. So I have it up on my end now, and you guys can just let me know. Dua, if you can just
Yes, that is you.
let me know. Slide 9. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna head to slide 9 now, and then you can let me know when to scroll through, and I'm just gonna go backstage and have the presentation up.
Say it with us. The tech gremlins will not win. They will not get in the way of us doing this. La Dua, unfortunately, we still cannot hear you very clearly. Oh, there we are. Let's hope. Here's hoping.
Hello?
Aywa. Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello? You hear me? Still hear me?
Yes, yes, keep going.
Okay. Okay. So now I'm gonna talk about the image in advertisement and telecom, Egyptian telecom advertisement. So in 2012, we start seeing a wave of ads portraying Nubians just to show how diverse Egypt is. And I'm gonna show you, I hope it works. I'm gonna show you two examples. And here is also a disclaimer that I'm not here promoting any of the two products, but just to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, let me try. Okay.
علشان لازم نكون مع بعض، عشان شايلانا نفس الأرض، عشان بكرة اللي مستني ومش عايز يفرق حد. Rubawe, aywa itoneri, eti togo, esingo go, onuba, wene singiri.
And one more. And this is actually a new one from 2020.
يا بلدنا يا حلوة بالناس الحلوة والناس الحلوة في بلدنا
Okay, so as you guys saw, these are two ads, and they were showing Nubians, peaceful Nubians on the Niles, riding their boats, smiling. Sons are gathering around their parents, and again, that's it. This is what they are. This is what they want people to know and see about Nubians. And guys, if you are seeing the background of this slide, this is my Nubian village. This is Adendan in southern Egypt. And yes, as you can see, there are colored houses, but again, you see like on the middle right, this is like a trash on the ground, and people there, they don't have access to hot water in winter. They have to heat the water themselves on the cooker, and they have to walk for like 20 minutes to go to access a supermarket and buy their needs. This is what being a Nubian in a Nubian village is, or at least in my village. So I'm actually asking, is it a positive or negative inclusion in the advertisements? And I'm really wondering if they are choosing the easy image. And the next slide, here's some positive thing. Finally, a real Nubian family on TV. So this is actually the only case, maybe in an Egyptian series, where we saw a Nubian family being represented as Nubians. So in that show, it was a 2013 TV series, and this actor, his name is Amir Salah ad-Din. He is Nubian, and his dad in the series, he's a Nubian actor, and his name is Ibrahim Farah. They were playing dad and son, and the son wanted to marry a non-Nubian girl, and the dad was against the idea. And this is exactly like a problem I heard from my cousins, our cousins. Like we know that story. We all have that cousin who wants to marry a non-Nubian, and then the dad comes against the whole thing, but eventually he agrees. The dad agrees, and also in the series, this is what happened. Eventually, the dad agreed. So this was like the only positive representation in recent history that I remember. And but still, it cannot be only positive, because in one of the episodes, an actress called this Nubian family barbarians. And it was like, why can't you just do something good from the beginning until the end? So that's it. The next slide. I was gonna ask you, what do you think of the mentioned examples? But you guys actually shared your thoughts in the comments as we were presenting, as we were having the presentation. But I'm really wondering, maybe Dima can also join me. Why don't media people represent real issues? Is there something? Are they going the easy way, or they just don't know? They are lazy to read and know about the Nubians' history.
No, I would not say that they are lazy. I think it is deliberate. Actually, no, not I think. I know this is deliberate. I know this is a particular effort here um, to undermine the truth of how we are and who we are. Because if according to them, God forbid, we do get connected to who we are, if we do start seeing our, especially the younger generations, as you said, you grew up seeing that one particular image, one particular side or dimension of the Nubian identity in Egypt, which is the help. If you were to see other dimensions, you might get ideas, you might get encouraged to claim something that would threaten authority otherwise, in my personal opinion. And then you have the other dimension is if they don't show the happy-go-lucky side of Nubians, and they do show the pain, and they do portray the struggle, like what some of the things you showed, which, by the way, this is not just your village. I moved to my village earlier this year, and I can tell you that the little bit of rubbish or trash that is shown on your photo is a blessing in comparison to the massive kharaba that we have just there for things to burn, for them to burn it for later to generate heat. But also because there's no infrastructure. So no, I believe this is absolutely deliberate. And I think we have some comments here, if you can see the comments on the people on the side, but I don't know if you are frozen. Yeah, you're frozen. The voice is choppy. Well, until Duat comes back, Mazen, might you have any input on what this looks like?
Sure. So I think with Egypt in particular, this is done specifically and very intentionally. And this kind of goes back to the conversation of the panel that we had, was it yesterday or the day before, with our Black archaeologists. And, when we begin to talk about, Nubians, then there is an issue of having to address, Egyptian history and what is actually Egyptian history. And so instead of having to go down that particular route, it's better to just show these people as this one stereotype and to continue that and to essentially, plant that in people's minds so that they don't go looking for everything else and they don't begin to actually research what it is that's going on, and then begin to find out, the history of these people. And then that causes a massive problem. As people know, Egypt's economy runs on tourism. That's one of the biggest things that brings, Egypt economy. But for example, a lot of people don't know that Sudan has more pyramids than Egypt. If you begin to talk about that, then Sudan and Egypt, Lower Egypt, Aswan, and Shamali and Sudan they were one nation, and so when you begin to talk about things like that, it begins to pose a problem, and there's a very large systemic issue that exists. And so it's better to just kind of either ignore it and not really say anything about it, or just try to paint the people as one monolithic structure and just one kind of way and go about it that way.
Thank you, Mazen. And I just want to add one more thing here. Dua, the video that you showed, the second example that you showed was a commercial. It was Amr Diab's latest song. And I think that's also one of the reasons they don't feature the truth about Nubia, at least in Egyptian media, is because of the chances of connecting the dots between the Nubian communities in Sudan and Egypt. And I specifically point to Amr Diab's video because last year there was a song released. Amr Diab released a song which had some video clip played to it. Now, whether or not it was sanctioned by him, he didn't come out with an apology, even though it had his name on it and his new song, and it was مش عارفة يا حبيبتي يا مصر ولا غالية يا مصر or something. المهم انه في الكادر او في السكرين one of the shots بتاعت all the different parts of مصر سواء سوهاج سواء so on حاطين اهرامات البجراويه، اهرامات اللي في مروي في السودان، وحاطين حبيبتي يا مصر. منين؟ ما هو there is like these pyramids, these Nubian pyramids are not in Egypt. They're in Sudan. But they're in and you're just like, right there you're writing مش عارفه لازم افتكر الكلمه لان الكلمه كانت مستفزه اكتر من استخدامهم to the actual photo. Like how are you going to say Egypt when just a few years before, if you remember الهوجه اللي حصلت في مصر when اسمها ايه بطيخه دي بتاعت قطر موزة شيخه موزة went to Sudan وكتبت السودان ام الدنيا. And then you have مش عارف ايه اديب and all of them come up وانه ايه ودول جبنا نستو ودول اهرامات وانتوا لو عايزين اهرامات تيجوا مصر واحنا مش عايزين. We don't want these they call the pyramids, the Nubian pyramids that are in Sudan, they call them like the Lavashkiri, the triangle cheese. It's the same
Yeah.
person who now has this video. I will try finding it now to send it to you.
I think a very important comment that came through that I'm going to put on the screen for everybody here is this particular one. And I know that Nubians everywhere face this particular issue, and this is an issue that is faced by any minority group who begins to kind of talk about their struggles and their issues in a society in which they are not the majority. So here's the comment, and it states, if
Yeah.
you try to talk about the discrimination and about any other issue, you are likely to be labeled as divisive, and the denial of that racism exists. Dictora Salma, boy, do I know what it is that you are talking about. Do I know what it is that you are saying? SubhanAllah, like you took the words right out of my mouth and put it in such an eloquent way. This exists everywhere. We see this in the U.S. Now with things like Black Lives Matter, and with talking about anti-police brutality and things of this nature. As soon as you begin to have that conversation, oh, do you want to split us up? And and in Nubia and where we're from, there's a word that people use specifically for this, and the word that they use is infisali. They'll tell you, oh, are you trying to be a secessionist? Are you trying to break away? Hal intum infisaliin, and it's so funny that that's literally the thing that people go to instead of thinking, for example, or sitting back and just processing and saying, what is it that's going on here? What is it that's causing these people to speak this way or to say this, and how can we remedy these issues? But thank you so much, Dictora Salma, for putting that in the most eloquent of ways.
Yeah, it's true. I hope you guys still hearing me. I was hoping to go through the comments and read some of them. So we have good dad, yeah, about the dad that refused the marriage of a non-Nubian. Yeah, but he eventually agreed at the end of the series. Okay, one of the things I heard from you is at least show the challenges faced by Nubians rather than showing them as always smiling and kind and have no challenges. Is that right? Yes, yes, that's exactly what I was trying to say, that people have problems. So you better just like when everyone in the world is having problems, Nubians have problems, and they do not smile all day. They are human beings. No one does that.
Uh-oh. Stanny. Give it a pause. Give it a breather. I think because every time you prepare to say some fiery things, I think the internet hesitates for a little bit. So give it a second. Okay, let's try now. All right. While she relogs in, thank you all for your patience. This, as you see, this is a very intricate and delicate topic, but it's also it transcends Nubians in Egypt and Nubians in Sudan, and this how the portrayal of people of African ancestry in general is deliberate. This is why we say we must reclaim our narrative, and we must be able to say, this is us, that is not.
I'm back, everyone, and I think I know the reason behind the voice issue is that the free voice and video services are not free in the UAE, so this might be the reason.
Oh, the irony.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I was hoping to go through each and every comment, but I don't think the infrastructure is helping me in that. So I'm gonna wrap this up, and I hope we continue the conversation on on the Facebook page that your guys on Nubia Fest 2020, and also on Twitter. Oh, I'm from Adenden, Minna. Let's take a moment here to celebrate how smart and critical our sister Daa is. Let me ask, where is she from? I'm from Adenden.
Okay, everyone.
تحية لأدندان. تحية لأدندان.
Yes.
And every single Nubian village as well deserves an applause to actually
Yes.
to bear
Nubians tuning
discrimination.
in, please write the names of your villages in the comments so we can all send some love. Nubians at peace in Kenya and Uganda. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, and that we can connect. And guys, let's keep the conversation going. Let's always share our thoughts and what we think whenever we see something positive or negative being said about Nubians in media. Let's shed light on it and say no. This is not just who we are. We're more than that. And let's give them lectures. Exactly like the purpose of this festival, I think, is Dima, right? It's to lecture everyone about Nubia.
We won't say lecture because people get sensitive with that, but to learn from one another, and we learn to teach. The thing is, when we're learning something to teach it to others, we learn it in a completely different way because we put ourselves in the mindset of how can we just like make it as digestible as possible. And this is all we're trying to do here. Just exchange
Yeah.
this knowledge. You're a journalist. You this is your field. This is your turf. You can tell us, please give us suggestions. How can we, and the people tuning in and the people who will watch this later, inshallah, what are steps that we can do to reclaim our narrative as Nubians or as lovers of Nubia or people who understand the wealth and the history and the heritage of Nubia? What are steps that we can take?
Yeah, true. And yeah, let's keep the conversation going and keep everything like up and ready and arm ourselves with information and videos and proofs.
Do you have like a list of I don't know, maybe do you have a list of videos or things that have properly represented Nubians anywhere?
Because there, you mean in media? I don't think, because and this was the whole idea of Nubian Voices. Actually, this is why we launched Nubian Voices, because we thought Nubians are misrepresented and underrepresented. You can't find like a single media article that talks about like the real how is it like to be a Nubian in a Nubian village. I don't think there is, but I'm gonna like send you the links that I have,
Please.
maybe the articles, and you guys share it on your network, on the Nubia Initiative and Nubia Fest 2020, so that everyone can see like the positive notes. I'm happy to be Nubian. Yeah, who isn't?
Ergin, shout out to Ashkit and shout out to Ergin, and Minna has a response for you.
Gostol, Ibrim, Gatta, and Adendan. 4 quarters equally decided.
All right. Well, family, we're hoping to have an open discussion where we will invite the participants, and it's not on the calendar because really it will happen whenever it happens. We will ask you as people who are on our page, and we will release the link if you want to join this conversation, because as Dua said and Minna also said on numerous occasions in our separate conversations, this is a conversation that must keep going. We need to find ways where we reclaim this narrative, where not just that it's not okay. And personally, for me, as much as I used to love and adore Muhammad Munir's music, I now can't listen to him. And growing up and listening to him and making sure like he always has this one Nubian song in his albums, I was like, right. So if anyone's going to celebrate, my wedding and so on, I would like Muhammad Munir to be the person singing, because he'll sing, even though I don't necessarily have that or had at the time the connection with Nubia. But after the musalsal he did in Ramadan, he did this which is another disaster.
Yeah.
Al-Mughanni, where he portrayed that Nubians happily and willingly left their land. And they portrayed الحكومة You know how they displaced them? They made it look like the Egyptian government sent the 7-star cruise ship to. Wallahi, it's on the thing. I got I literally got a nosebleed watching that stuff. But then when they're showing the image of it, Tarhil, when they're leaving and the Nubians are carrying their valuables, they have the Nubians carrying Gamal Abdel Nasser's photos.
Yeah, I think انا فاكره ان انا شفت اللقطه اللي انت بتحكي عليها دي، بس I totally actually forgot to include it, maybe because I wasn't planning to be all political. I was trying just to go away from politics.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing. We're a non-political organization as the Nubia Initiative, and I'm not speaking here as the Nubia Initiative. I'm speaking in my capacity as just Dima Mahmoud now. But even that, this is cultural. You're really going to say, from everything these Nubian families left behind in their homes, they chose to take pictures of Gamal Abdel Nasser.
Yeah, and I'm sure this wasn't the stories during التهجير. Okay, we have a question from Salma Hag Hamid. What are some ways the mainstream white Egyptians can do to be more inclusive of Nubian Egyptians? I think they can just go to villages and see Nubians and see how they live. Just go there and see. And I'm not talking about Gharb Sahel, because Gharb Sahel is a very touristy village. Like all my friends, when they told me إيه ده إحنا رحنا النوبة، أقول لهم which village, they say Gharb Sahel. No guys, go to other villages and see the complete picture, not just the pictures that you want to see on ads and movies. So I would invite them to go and see how people are living. I think there is another comment from Asma Othman. There is a new Egyptian movie, Al Mamar. There is one line by Amir Salah ad-Din, yeah, the Nubian actor that we mentioned, that talks about resettlement, tahgir. Yeah, maybe because it's a new movie. I didn't actually watch it, or I didn't find it on YouTube. But if so, then yeah, it's positive. If he talks about التهجير and what really happened at that time, then yeah, applause.
Asma Uthman, I'm really super against representing Munir as a Nubian icon and role model. I am with you there, except at the time he was the only one generating music or Nubian music, and was in a way pinning it. And he was named the king by the Nubians. And again, I am speaking here in my personal capacity. I'm not the Nubia Initiative, but he betrayed the Nubians who crowned him as king, so that he can go back to having his concerts in Egypt. Dua, again, we are missing your voice here. All right, well, we have this here, and we will our next panel for the Nubian language has started.
Okay, so I'm gonna log off.
You're fine. Mazen will be going to start that, so we probably will get disconnected shortly. But I did want to say thank you so much for taking the time to share this. Family tuning in, if you know any Nubians or Nubian initiatives or Nubian projects or organizations that should be featured, please put their names and tag them in the comments so that Dua may find them and track them to feature their stories and their truths and their narratives in the Nubian voices. And we're so very grateful for your time, Dua. I see the thing is froze again, but I hope you can at least hear me as I thank you for this. Okay, Dua is writing in the private chat. She's saying thank you. I don't think we can hear her, but we hope she will be tuning in and joining us at the Saturday panel, and maybe also tomorrow at the family hour, where we continue to have this conversation more openly with the audience and people who are tuning in to Nubia Fest 2020. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and thank you everyone for tuning in with us. Afia logo.